What is up, YouTube? My name is EbbenMagician34, and we're going to be starting our Run to Kansas City Regionals now. And what that's going to consist of is we're going to be looking at the decks that I plan to take with me, potentially, to the event, their pros, their cons, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a deck you've seen before. I've got the link down below if you want to see my previous version of it. I changed it a little bit, kind of threw it together to test play it a little bit. So you can get the idea. This is a Bronzong Metal Links deck, so obviously we've got our 3 Bronzong Bronzors, our 2 Dialga EX. This guy does a lot of heavy lifting, and his Chrono Wind can be problematic for people who like to set up Megas very quickly, and then they have to retreat them out and find another way to get them in. Full Metal Impact is a great way to finish people off after you stall them a turn with Chrono Wind. Aegislash EX is going to pull a lot of weight, I think, and is one of the most attractive features of this deck. New decks like Colorless Mega Rayquaza and whatnot are very fast, but they also rely on double colorless energy, not unlike some decks like Flareon and so on. Special energies are a big part of our metagame. Aegislash shuts them down and forces people to play in unusual ways, and strong energy on things like Groudon, Primal Groudon, also a factor. And this guy can potentially OHKO with his Slash Blast on a lot of things if you just pile on enough metal energy, which of course with Bronzong isn't that big of a challenge. And of course we've got Muscle Band for that. Cobalion, Righteous Edge is very nice, helpful against Seismitoad EX and whatnot. And Steel Bullet can take care of Safeguarders and whatnot. And then of course you get Keldeo, and I've been teching this Rayquaza EX. Don't know if I'm going to keep him, but he can attack oftentimes for 60 for 1 energy. And then he's got this 100 damage attack for 3, which can even dunk potentially some metal energies into our discard pile, which is very good for us. Kind of a standard line of support here with the Junipers, the Ends. Thanks to Skyfield and Rayquaza, Colress is an amazing card right now. I've already Colressed for 13, which is pretty impressive. So I feel like he's a must-have. Fan clubs, AZ, or AZ, however you want to say it. Lysander, Trump card, all that, of course. Computer search. I'm opting for 4 Acrobikes. I had to drop some cards like Steel Shelter in order to run it. But I still think it's pretty useful because it helps accelerate us, which is important. Helps us make sure we hit our supporters. Dunks metal energies. It just increases the deck, its speed and performance in every way. So I'm opting for that. Ultra Balls, Dunk Things, Floatstone obviously for Keldeo, Muscle Band, Battle Compressor, Max Potion. Triple Versus Seeker. I decided to go a little more Versus Seeker heavy than I did last time. Professor's Letter. 4 double colorless energies, and then at last we've got 10 metal energies to kind of finish the deck off. The advantages of this deck is that it can very easily control a lot of people, and a lot of decks have a difficult matchup, and it's sort of slow going to win, but it's a comfortable deck to play. And I've seen some success with it, but Roaring Skies has changed things, and in some ways this deck might be playing at a disadvantage now because of the speed issue, as many decks are actually getting a lot faster. So it's kind of an unusual thing, and a lot of decks, they can, especially with Mega Turbo being around, they can fairly easily get around Aegislash here. So that's problematic. And even though I don't think this is necessarily the final version of this deck, I don't think it's ever going to have a big speed factor. So while it's one of my front-running decks, I don't know if realistically it's something we can play at the event in our new and emerging metagame, which we still have about 2 weeks to figure that out, but still, that's going to go by very quickly. So anyway, until next time, we're going to continue our run to Kansas City. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more Pokemon content.